Hello homeschool families, and welcome back to the channel that is prepping you for fall 2020. Now we are here. I don't know when you're getting started, but I imagine it's pretty soon if it hasn't already happened. So today we're going to be talking about how to make the transition from homeschooling from not homeschooling. Hold on. So today we're going to be talking about the transition from not homeschooling to homeschooling and how to make that the easiest transition you can possible. So let's go. 5 tips to make that transition just as smooth as possible. The first one is wake up earlier than your kids. Some of you may have children that wake up at 6 o'clock, and I feel for you. If that is a habit that they naturally have, that's going to be great for them their whole life. But I still would recommend that you take the time to wake up a little bit earlier than them, especially if they are your only child, because a lot of times when we wake up to our kids, we are not on full functioning. You see all the memes, just like I see all the memes with the coffee, like don't talk to me until I have my coffee, that kind of deal. That's for real. And it's because we are not in the right frame of mind to start our days when everybody's going on full speed and we're at 25%. So try your best to wake up before your children. If your children are in the habit of waking up early because that is how it was at public school, feel free to break that if they want to. Okay, if they're just natural risers, don't feel free to break that. That's who they are. We respect our children always who they are. We want to encourage all their traits that they naturally have. But if they're in a habit of waking up early just because that's what they did, you don't have to keep doing that anymore. There's no science behind waking up early for kids. There's no good benefits unless they have like farm chores. There's no reason to do it. Children do not have to wake up early, but they shouldn't sleep until 11. But I mean, if they slept until 11, you only had to wake up at 10. And you honestly have the freedom to do that if you have a schedule where your husband works late nights and the only time that you guys could spend time together is late night. So, but I definitely recommend waking up before your kids. Start your day by yourself. That way you have that time to reflect, you have that time to prepare, you have that time to get a cup of coffee in you. And even you can be the cheerful mom that says, good morning, and they're the ones that are like, ugh. It can make so much of a difference just waking up before your kids, I promise you. The second tip I have for transitioning smoothly into homeschooling is get ready. Like, I know that we're in our house and I know that we can get away with pajamas, and I am guilty of that, doing that like 50% of the time. But there is such a big difference in just getting ready. Even if you don't see anybody other than your family for the rest of the day, have their teeth brushed, try on new clothes, like make that transition from sleeping to awake to getting ready, because otherwise you may not get out of the I just want to go to bed mode. And that can be a hard mode to break, especially if you've had a really relaxed summer, which is wonderful to have. But when we're starting to get back into gear, back into more productivity, more engagement on the brain, let's make that transition from sleep to awake by changing our clothes, brushing our teeth, washing our face. Even if you don't see anybody and makeup makes you feel better, put on the makeup. Be appreciative of yourself. Love yourself. And if those are the things that you like to do for yourself, do it that way that you are ready for the day. The third thing to make the transition from not homeschooling to homeschooling better is meal planning. Now, I know this doesn't sound very exciting, but it can be such a big stress when you're focusing on trying to get the curriculum, getting familiar with the curriculum, and then lunch comes and you're like, oh no. Because we can get stuck in a rut of really unhealthy eating, either picking up takeout or eating chicken nuggets every day. Whatever it is, you know what it is that your patterns are, your fallback default food is, and it's probably not the healthiest. And eating correctly, eating healthy will help your homeschool so much. So by meal planning and getting in that habit, you don't have to be an excellent meal planner right off the bat. You don't at all. I am not. This is something that I am trying to instill for the first time this year, a really dedicated meal plan, because I know how helpful it is to have those healthy meals that you can fall back on, not really have to think about because you thought about it all on Sunday night or whenever it is that you decide to meal plan, or or you thought about it all when you were making your Walmart to go order or whatever it is. By taking that stress off of you, you can more focus on the other things that are brand new to you, such as getting in this homeschool routine, getting in this rhythm, getting familiar with the curriculum, getting used to being around each other all the time again. And so definitely consider a meal plan. I don't have anything yet for y'all, but this is something I do want to talk about further because I think it'll help us so much with our homeschool. The fourth tip to make the transition smooth into homeschooling is don't try to do all the things at once, okay? Don't try to fit every single subject you want to on the first day. It'll be way too much. It'll be way too much. I recommend starting one thing. Like throughout our summer, we kept math. We didn't drop it. We just kept math. I do Khan Academy. I love it. And so we kept that. Our homeschool will start next week, and that's when we'll add on to math, language arts. After that, we will add on science. After that, if we found a comfortable routine, we will add on history. Oh, something that we will talk about later is, I don't know the name for it, but like you just do these units all at once so that instead of having history all throughout the year kind of drug out. Oh, this is part of homeschooling. It's like, I don't know which one that is. Which one do you guys think sounds good? But instead of dragging it throughout the homeschool year, you can just take a week or two at the end of the semester or any time that's convenient where you're not overloaded with everything else and dive into it on a deep level, create deep projects. These kids will remember those. Take a trip to those historical places that you live nearby. So you don't have to do all these big subjects at once. Science and history are ones that you can totally just dive in for a couple of weeks and really by diving into that, get a much richer experience instead of trying to, pinch it on to your school days. So that is something to consider. We will talk about that more because I do want to do that towards the end of the year or later in the middle. I don't know. But for our homeschool schedule, I do want to explore the Civil War monuments that are nearby. We live in the South, so but that's a part of history that we should acknowledge and research and learn about, especially if it's here. Really do not feel obligated to do everything at once. Once you feel comfortable, start one thing. Once that's comfortable, start the next thing. Once those are comfortable, start the next thing. Habit stack, as I like to call it. I'll link a video I did to that there. Feel free to ease into it. Fifth tip for smoothing the transition as best as possible is collaborate with your kids as much as possible. Don't let this homeschool experience happen to them, okay? Don't do that. It can be so easy to be like, I want to be the perfect parent and I want to create this perfect schedule and I want to do all these things, but if the kid's not involved, if it's happening to them, they're not going to like it and you're going to receive pushback. So as much as possible, collaborate with them. Talking about the meal planning, get them involved. Get some kids' cookbooks, open it up and be like, which ones of these would you like to try? And then have them involved in that cooking process, that meal prep process as much as possible. Even kindergarten, pre-K students can help put sandwiches together, Talking about easing in with the subjects, ask them how they're feeling about math. If they say, it's easy, add on the next one and ask them which one they would like to add on if you have it all prepared. Involving them as much as possible, collaborating with them as much as possible, giving them as much ownership in their homeschool experience as possible will help so much on your part and their part and making this whole thing happen, whether you are homeschooling for life or you are homeschooling just for this pandemic season. I talk about collaborating with your children more in my book that's coming out this weekend, Homeschool Basics, Lesson Planning. How to create effective lesson plans. And so be looking for that. I'm going to offer it for free for the 5-day Amazon trial that it'll give me. It'll only let me do it for 5 days. So I will make like a little post or something on my Facebook group, Real Moms Homeschool 2020, link down below. And then also next week, whenever I create the videos, there will be that link for the new book. So be looking forward to that. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Fist bump, we got this. I'm so excited. Fall is here. See you next time. Bye.